Perfect. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Matt Howard. I am the Chief Marketing Officer and Senior Vice President at Virtru. I'm going to give a quick talk today on a topic called Shift Happens, Dynamic Security for Data in Motion, and specifically as it relates to AI. So we live in a world where for the last 20, 25 years, generally speaking, cybersecurity, risk management, and governance professionals have attempted to protect sensitive data with effectively castle walls. These castle walls have a problem. They have a fundamental flaw. The problem is that they are designed to, yes, keep bad guys out, but at the same time, they're unfortunately keeping really important sensitive information inside the business, and this is information that must be shared outside the business in order for business to get done. Practical reality is business demands more. When you think about the macro world from a cybersecurity perspective today, there are two data security imperatives that effectively everyone can relate to. The first is to protect the sensitive information that we possess inside of our organization from being accidentally lost or stolen. This is a risk mitigation effort. This is also something that we like to call defense. The second imperative is to find really elegant, simple, clean ways to share sensitive data with other people outside of the organization for purposes of driving business value and productivity. This is something that we would consider to be offense. In the context of offense versus defense, here's a hard truth that everybody has to kind of reconcile today. The walls that we talked about before are crumbling. They are effectively not doing a very good job of keeping bad guys out. The Verizon 2024 data breach incident report revealed 10,000 plus breaches last year, which was a 100% year-over-year increase. And as a practical reality, anybody who works for a big business today that's trying to share sensitive files with a third-party partner outside the organization knows all too well the pain and the friction associated with IT controls that oftentimes prevent that from happening. Those castle walls are keeping sensitive information in or information in that needs to be shared, and that's not driving value for business. So there's a new day that's dawning. It's called data-centric security, and this is all about essentially shifting the architectural mindset from this castle wall or this perimeter-centric view of the world to more of a granular data-centric view of the world. It's about taking policy and access control away from the edge and moving it all the way down and applying policy and access control on a very granular basis to the individual object so that that protection, that governance, and that control travels with that piece of information no matter where it goes. The ultimate idea here is not to suggest that you get completely out of the business of building perimeter-centric governance and risk management capabilities. Of course, you need to have them, but there is also an undeniable truth that we all sort of see in plain view today, especially with the evolution of things like AI and LLMs, which is you have to have granular governance on sensitive, unstructured data for reasons that we talked about. So you want to have a better balanced investment posture with respect to both defense and offense. History is repeating itself. So when we think about where we are from a security architecture perspective, it's just very useful to sometimes look back and sort of see where our industry was 10, 15 years ago as it relates to things like application architecture. 10 years ago, application architecture was primarily three-tier monolithic applications were being built. Along came the cloud, along came an open standard called Kubernetes. This open standard called Kubernetes allowed software developers and IT operational teams to develop and deploy and run in production microservices as part of an application architecture, which was granular by definition. So lots of little bits of software were being assembled into production applications, and that granular architecture was incredibly important to what we now know to equal kind of good modern hygiene from a software design, security, operational, scalability, maintainability perspective. So granularity from an architecture perspective when it comes to applications is beginning to happen as it relates to security architecture. It is time to shift the security architecture mindset from the perimeter to the data. And that's where Virtru comes into play. The trusted data format is the open standard that underpins the Virtru product set. We are essentially taking the trusted data format and applying granular policy control on sensitive granular pieces of data so that you can share them with third parties, drive business value without sacrificing security, without sacrificing privacy or control, and you get the benefit of both defense and offense in terms of your cyber risk management posture. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Juan, who's going to do a demo.
Thank you, Matt.
Take it over, Juan.
Everybody, good afternoon. My name is Juan Salinas. I'm a Solutions Engineering Manager at Virtru. Based on what Matt just went through, wanted to just cover a quick demo on ways that we've been able to take that trusted data format and build that into common workflows, common tools that users are leveraging every day. We have focused heavily on the most common workflows, which are going to be kind of surrounding email, files, and applications. Our file sharing tool is called SecureShare, where we're going to empower our users, give them a tool to be able to share sensitive information that they need to share, however, maintain control over their sensitive data. We talk a lot about attributes, entitlements, et cetera, where you want to be able to share sensitive data out, however, you want to control what the recipient can do with that data overall. So this is SecureShare overall. Again, we've taken that trusted data format and built this product on top of that. But it's just going to give you the ability to share any sensitive file that you have or files and add those additional controls. So right now we've protected the file itself. We're wrapping each individual file with that trusted data format. And that's going to allow us to add these additional controls. So as I mentioned, what do you want the recipient to be able to do? Should they have access to this data in perpetuity? Do you want them to be able to download, reshare, et cetera? So again, it's not just a matter of encrypting the data, it's a matter of adding additional controls over that, over your sensitive data. Once you have added your security policies, you can share this with anyone. The beauty about Virtru's technology is, again, powered by that trusted data format, is the ability to share this with anybody. You're not dependent on the recipient's environment to be able to enable that workflow. So again, you can share this with anyone at all. And then we talk about this ongoing control, right? So not just the ability to encrypt, but what does the trusted data format allow you to do with your sensitive data? And two key things are ongoing visibility and control. So I can come in and see what's happened with my sensitive data, who has access to it, has it been reshared, can I revoke access individually if this has been shared with multiple organizations, parties, users, so you always maintain control, visibility and control over that sensitive information. If I did detect any sort of an anomaly here, I have the ability to shut down access right away. So I think the concept here is kind of taking this open source trusted data format and empowering AI LLM workflows also, that you don't have to kind of open up a heavier data set to anybody. It's you still want to empower those workflows, however, maintain control over the sensitive information. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. So to put a fine point on the demo and the conversation today in the context of GovAI, OpenTDF powering the Virtru product set is today in commercial market supporting 7,000 customers, primarily with email, file, and application workflows. As the open standard continues to mature and as it gets exposed to third-party developers and others, the opportunity to leverage the granular policy, access control, sort of micro-security architecture that we talked about is paramount for the world that's coming forward with AI and LLMs. In a world that's proliferating massive amounts of content from these LLMs, the question is begged, how much of it is sensitive, and then how is it ultimately being shared outside of the organization, with whom, and to the extent that you want to have policy and control over that sensitive information that LLMs are generating, you'll want to be certainly aware of what the TDF has to offer and the Virtru products that are coming forth. So thank you very much for your time. Thanks.